All right, so welcome everybody out to today's training. And in today's training, you're going to learn how to post a $25 Craigslist ad and get anywhere from the results that we've been getting, myself, our team members, students, etc. have been getting anywhere from about 30, 40 leads all the way up to 200, 300 leads per day. Now, of course, you're going to get anywhere from 30 to 60 leads per one paid Craigslist ad. And I have actually one guy, Terrell, who was able to get about 150 leads on one ad. So depending on your image, which I'm going to cover briefly, but I'm also going to give you guys the exact image that I'm using. Now remember, if we're all using the same image, it's going to kind of dilute the effectiveness of that specific ad. However, I've been using this ad for almost 2 years now. I've given it to plenty of my core team or people that have invested with us, and it works. And so um, let's get straight in here. So the first thing you're going to need is you're going to need a Weber application form. If you don't know how to create one, I am going to actually show you guys. So the first thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go inside of your Aweber and create a list. Okay, so if you're not familiar with creating a list, you're going to watch a separate like 2-minute video that I have available if you need that on how to create a list. I'm not going to go through that right now because most people at this point, unless you're very, very new, understand how to at least create a list. Okay, so next thing you're going to do is you're going to go into sign up forms and you're going to click on create a sign up form, right? So obviously, I got Craigslist pulled up here on the side. Obviously, you got to create a Craigslist account, okay? Get a, obviously create a Craigslist account, get a password, log in, and just know that I'm going to give you guys a solution to getting past the phone verification. And I think, John, you've probably got a ton of ways to get past that as well. Obviously, the first way is to have your friends and family verify it for you. The second way would be to use an app called Pinger. So that alone, I mean, I remember when someone gave me the information to use the Pinger app. I mean, you could literally create endless Craigslist accounts. That for me was very, exciting. So take that, write it down, take notes. Pinger is the app. So on your smartphone or your Android, market, whatever you have, go ahead and download that app. And once you go through the Craigslist verification process, when you get to that point, the phone number, you're going to go ahead and use that Pinger app to verify. So, all right, first things first, guys. Once again, pull up an application form, and it's got to look pretty much identical to this one. You can get creative. You can test some stuff. This converts at about 25%, meaning that every 100 people that see this form, about 25 are opting in. Now I'm going to test some different forms and looking to get higher, like 35, 40% opt in. But at this point, once again, every 100 people you get, about 25 are going to put their name and email on Craigslist. All right, so what I do is I just go down the line, I just pull up this form, and I got the name here. Obviously, I need to widen up the form. So that's going to be your first thing, widen up the form. Go ahead and edit the header here and type in online application form, right? So type in online application form, make that a little bit bigger, maybe about 18. Let's do 24. And then let's go ahead and center that out, right? So you put that right in the center. And the next thing we have the name. All right, that's there. Make this a little bit wider. We have the name, the email, that's already there, right? So the next thing we need to add in is the phone, right? So we'll go ahead and just click on add phone, right? And we want this to go ahead and be our phone label. And you guys can see here, you can actually pick which you want a select box, a check box, or a text area, and we're going to use let's see what was I'm sorry text. Let's see the text input, right? So just like that one, we're going to use text input, and we'll say input your best contact number here, right? And that's going to just kind of let people know that, oh wow, they might really reach out to me by phone, right? So this is input your best contact number here. All right, so that one's done. Next thing we're going to need is the street, right? You want to get you actually get all their information. So you can do something as simple as and you can create a new field, right? So we could say uh, enter street address. Save that. It's going to ask you if you want it to be text input, which we do, right? And then go ahead and save that. All right, so the next one is city. So same thing, guys. I mean, really just real repetitive. Some of these are check boxes, and I'll show you how to do that in the next minute. But text input, same thing. Save that, right? So you see how it's starting to look like this one now. So these are the drop down boxes for the state, right? So you go ahead and click on create a new field, and we'll say state, and we want this to be. It automatically is going to give you because it knows that specific input. So it's automatically going to put all the pre-made choices, right? So we'll say, U.S. states, all 50 states, and then we'll save it. And so what's going to happen now, you can see it gives you the same drop down. So really simple stuff once you get going and start doing this. It's just tedious, right? So next thing is zip code, and that's going to be a text box. So go ahead and create a new field. We're going to type in zip code and save this box. Done, right? Done on that one. Then what's the next one? Are you employed? Create a new field. So we'll go, are you employed? And then we'll go ahead and say, we want this to be a select box, and the choices are going to be yes and no. So you just hit yes, enter, no, enter, save. And then that gives you the drop down box, right? So once again, I mean, if I'm moving a little quickly, you guys can always pause, rewind this video and reference back. So have you ever worked online, right? And let me just make sure something real quick. All right, we are recording. I wanted to make sure one more time. I know I said it in the beginning, but okay. So, have you ever worked online? Uh, let's do the next field. Whoop. Have you ever worked online? Right? And then, of course, the answers are going to be text. Oops, excuse me. They're going to be select box, and the answers are going to be yes and no. Done. Save that one. Next one is going to be, do you have access to a phone? So same thing, right? Do you have access to a phone? And guys, just so you understand some of the psychology behind this, I'm going to do yes and no again. What's happening is that people have a job mentality that are on Craigslist, right? What's the next one? Do you know how to copy and paste? Add field. So what happens is when you're putting them through a quote, reviewal process or quote, application process, what are people that are looking for a job used to doing? Putting in applications, right? So this word right here alone is going to intrigue people to go ahead and to go ahead and to opt in to get more information about the business. So it's do you have access? Okay, do you know how to copy and paste? So do you know how to copy? To copy and paste, right? And then save that. I guess we can't do that. So we'll say copy and paste. Select box, yes, no, save. All right, next one. Will you need base? And I guess we could have just done this, right? I could just copy this, um, and then paste that in there. Paste that in there, right? Get rid of that. Save that. Will you need training on basic computer skills? And we'll leave that a text box. It'll get, they don't have to put yes or no. It'll give them a little bit of a space to elaborate, just in case they feel like they need to explain ourselves, even though this one's a checkbox. So let's do a little bit differently. Have you ever attended a live webinar? And this one is definitely going to just be yes or no. So we'll add this one in, create new field, paste, save that, and then we'll just do, let's see, yes and no. All right, almost done, guys. How much are you looking to make per month? All right, this one's really key when you're going through these answers and you're looking to reach out to people and call these people. I personally don't reach out and call these people anymore. Matter of fact, there was an email that just popped up um, from somebody from AWeber. So if they reach out to me or they email me or call me, then I'll go ahead and make an attempt to get them in my business or to sell them whatever it is that we have. So how much are we looking to make per month? We want it to go ahead and be a text input save that. Gives them an opportunity to tell you, how ambitious they are. If they say, 500 a month, you might have someone that's, used to just making 500 bucks a month, and that doesn't really necessarily mean anything. It just means, if you get someone that says I want to make 10K a month, then you know that this person's really ambitious. They might have um, a, a, a higher lifestyle that they're living. Therefore, they have a why that they need to actually make something happen. So those are the kind of people you want in your team, right? Ones that might have mortgages and car payments and things like that. And so that'll give you an idea of how much are you looking to make per month. Now, a brief description about your work background. Let's go ahead and add that one in. This gives people some time to, elaborate. And here's what happens, guys, is a lot of people on Craigslist will spend, this will probably take you like a good 5 minutes to fill out, right? Especially if you got to answer the questions about your work background and all that different stuff. So a lot of times people feel committed. So once they opt in, they spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they feel like this is how job mentality people are. They go, oh, I just wasted 10 minutes. So after they opt in, even though it's not a job and they redirect, mentally they're thinking, well, I just wasted 10 minutes. I might as well take a look at this thing, right? That's how job mentality people are, because they look at everything as, a quote, waste of time. And people that are entrepreneurs like myself understand that it's actually an investment of time when you're doing stuff like this. So, when are you ready to start? All right. So we'll go ahead and leave that as a text box as well. And that's the last one. All right. So let me pull my window back up here. Text. Oh, come on. Stop doing that. All right. There we go. Text input, save. All right. That's it, guys. So literally, we'll widen this up just I'd say about that much or so. You definitely want to get the button. You notice the button says click here when finished. You always want to tell them what to do. So we'll go ahead and say, we'll say click here when finished. Whoop, to submit application. All right, so we'll save that, and then we'll go right. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll center out the button. You can see right here it has a position. Right now it's off to the right. You can see that, so therefore it's showing up on the right. If I do the left one, it's going to show up on the left, and obviously if I do the center one is where we want it, it's going to show up right in the middle. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of. Um, you know what? Actually, I'm going to leave these two, and I'm going to test to see if this converts higher than the one I have right now. Right? Just based on email privacy or and you can actually edit this, I believe. Let's see. Oh, I guess not. You can only align it center right. Save that. Let's see. Edit affiliate ID 354681. So what happens here is if someone for whatever reason they know about Aweber and they click on this and then they end up signing up, you get credit. You get a commission, right? So pretty cool. Save your form, guys. And the next thing you're going to want to do, I'm actually, just so you know, John, I'm going to put this Aweber form in the back of my system so people will actually be able to access this form just by grabbing a link, and they won't have to go through the whole creation process of creating this form. Um, so you want to go ahead and name your form. I'll call this CL2, or I'll call this CL add 2. And you want to redirect. Okay. The next step, guys, is where you're going to redirect your people to, right? So in my case, it's going to be what you're going to do is if you're doing this for ILN, what you're going to want to do is go ahead and log in, grab your link to the directly to the let's see, copy this directly to this page here, because this page converts, right? So this is the page right now that's converting on Craigslist. Why? I don't understand, but it's okay. I don't need to understand why it's converting. And why do I say why? Because typically, these make money niches and, work from home and stuff like that on Craigslist, some of them will convert like Z and Z. We know that. But this is a little bit more like make money ish versus work from home. So, I'm surprised that it's converting, but it definitely is, right? And obviously, as you guys get out there and post your $25 ads, which is the next step, you're going to see a lot of the same results that I'm getting, right? So go ahead and take that link. You guys saw me copy the link, and then go ahead and drop that into here. And so what this is going to do is just basically when people opt in, it's going to take them and redirect them to that page, right? And so let's paste that in there. Message number 2. Okay. You don't have to worry about any of this. Let me get rid of the advanced settings so I don't confuse you guys. I just did it for myself. Maybe we can get into that later. But for basic purposes, you just put your link in there, right? You save that, and that's it. And then you go to step 3. Now it says have Aweber host my form, right? So you're gonna grab this link right here. This is your Aweber form. So we're gonna be able to pull this up and test it. I'm gonna copy this. First thing you're always gonna want to do is test your form. So it looks good. This looks really good, right? I feel like it's going to convert very well. But the first thing you want to do is just test your form, right? I'm just going to put any gibberish in here, any information in here, right? And whatever, just put a zip code. Oh, I'll do this. And all these, all right. And the reason you want to test this because you want to make sure that once they click here to finish when submit, or click here when finished to submit application, boom. All right, I want you to so now it redirects to this page, right? So let's go ahead and leave this page, pull this up here. This is the actual the actual form that you're gonna put into the ad. So that's the next step, right? So the first step is creating your form, and I'm gonna go back here, and I'm gonna call this work from home starting today. And let's see here. Let's save that. And I'm going to show you the reason I did that because I just noticed something. Notice that right here. And every little detail counts, guys, depending on whether someone's going to determine whether this is a internet scheme, as people call it, or a job or a potential work from home business, right? So you notice this says CL ad 2. Well, whatever you name it here is going to show up here. So let's go ahead and refresh that. Work from home starting, right? So boom. All right. Now let's go ahead and take this form. Let's copy that. Make sure we got it locked and loaded. Let me go ahead and log into my Craigslist account. Make sure that you guys start out in your near vicinity or in your near area, right? In the vicinity nearest to you. So if you are in, let's just say, um, Nevada, right? You're probably going to want to start with something like Vegas or Reno or something like that. You want to start in the nearest paid city. So what are some paid cities? Atlanta, Orlando. You can see all these ads. I mean, um, where else? There's some in Montana. I mean, they're all over. And this is just one of my Craigslist accounts. But if we go back to 2013 and look at some of my ads, there's 3 pages of ads. So you can see that once again, I practice what I preach, and what I'm telling you is the honest truth. You can see I'm using some of the same images. All right, so let's go back to posting an ad. Now it's very simple. You will go into whatever city it is, and I'm just going to go to Craigslist.com to go back. So let's just say we're posting in. Let's do John, right? Let's do where John's at. Let's do New York. So we find New York. Where is it? New York. Come on, there it is, New York. And then we'll go ahead and click on New York because I believe that's a paid city. Next thing we're going to do is post to classifieds, okay? And we're going to go job offered. You always want to go job offered. And then here's another thing is you always want to stick with one section. If you're going to post in customer service jobs, which is where I always suggest to post, you can also do, marketing and some other things. But this is the one where people are really, really looking through for jobs, right? Customer service jobs. But point was, you always want to keep it at that specific category. You don't want to put it 1 minute here, 1 minute here, because it'll kind of trip up Craigslist algorithm and then potentially flag your ad. All right, so go ahead and click continue, and then you're gonna click on whatever area you want. I'll just go Brooklyn. All right, and then the title that I've used, and you can see this, right? You might want to switch it up because I think some people that have been looking for a job for over a year kind of might know the title. But most people are through this constant cycle of looking for a job. That's the beauty of Craigslist is there's always new people that are getting fired and looking, and then now we're looking and now they've moved on, and so it's this constant cycle of endless leads on Craigslist, which is the beauty of it. So you can see I got a few different titles here. You can go ahead and I've paused here for a minute so you can kind of just type out any of those as you're watching this. But for this training sake, I'm going to use this one here. Location, I'm going to say New York, right? I'm going to say New York, and then I'll just type in, I don't know, the postal code. So I'll leave that blank. And then what's going to happen is beneath this video, or you're going to have to inbox myself or John or whoever actually invited you to this webinar to get the code that is actually what makes the ad possible, right? So, I mean, you could follow this code, and if you're really good, you can type that in and you can just do it that way. But what we'd actually do, and let me go back, I didn't grab my link. Let me grab my link. You take this link, all right? So here's the only, like, it's not even tricky, but the only kind of like part you got to pay attention to is paste this in here. All right, so now you can see I got my new form in there, and I can copy this whole code, which when you get this code, it's going to say something like, your link here, right? So you just take this code, you go back over to your ad, you paste that in there, and this is the image. All right, so here's where I'm going to get into the image. All right, once again, this is your link right in between quotations. That's where you can put a new form. You can put a new website if you want to just test and put like another, capture page or some other business opportunity, which I wouldn't suggest. I would suggest doing the form, then redirecting to your business opportunity. But just in case, you want to get crazy or whatever, you just put your biz here, right? All right. So I think you guys got that part, right? So I'll put my link back in. All right. So put my link back in. Now here's where it gets cool. If you want to get creative, this is an image that people are gonna see. So here's what they're gonna see when they click on your Craigslist ad, right? Boom. This image right here, looking for income, we're looking for partners, makes 50 to 75K this year. So very generic. It's got the bright smile on there, whatever. It's jobby, right? So people opt in. Like I said, every 100 people that come and see this, they're going to click it and they're going to opt into your form. And as you get better with creating forms and tweaking and testing, you can get a higher percentage than 25%. All right. So how do you change the image? Well, you go to Fiverr.com and you type in Craigslist, okay? And you can see this image right here, right? This is a really cool image. So I could go, copy image address, and I could even swipe this image because boom, there's the image, right? So the image is what you're gonna put in between these specific quotations. So this is the link, this is the image, right? So we're gonna go back over here, paste in this specific image, and you're gonna see as we move forward, continue. And I always make sure you don't forget this one last part. I always put performance based, right? And, commission or whatever, same thing. And I don't check any of this. I don't do any of this stuff. Continue. Done with images. And that's it, guys. So literally, you can see make weekly cash for the rest of your life, ready for 100% commissions, blah, blah, blah. So test images, test forms. And once again, the only way to really do that is to switch out the images, switch out the links, create new forms, and get creative, right? And do your own market research. So once you want to publish it, you just go click on publish. And what will happen is it's going to ask you to pay. Now, that's the last part. Not actually going to pay for this because here's the time of day that you want to put your ad up. You want to put your ad up between 4 and 6 a.m. Um, East Coast time. So my time, I usually put my ads up before I go to sleep, like 2, 3 in the morning, which is why I wake up at like 9, right? But anyway, post your ads between 2 and 3 Pacific, between 4 and 6 or so Central or East Coast time, right? So as close as you can get to that time where people are waking up in the morning, rolling up their sleeves and going, I'm gonna get a job today. And then they fill out 5 applications and they're back to sleep by 11 a.m. Right? So um, and that was a lame joke if you didn't catch it. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm not going to overcomplicate this because I don't want to confuse anyone or overwhelm anyone. I want to give you guys the meat and potatoes, and then maybe down the line we can get into create new web forms, create new images, and getting into some of the psychology behind why people click and what they click and red and blue and all those color stuff. But for now, keep it simple, keep it basic, do exactly what it is that we just showed you guys. And I'm telling you right now, you're going to get leads. You're going to get signups, especially with ILN. Okay. Now, once again, I've got 3 signups today alone from that specific ad. Aaron did one last week, and I think he's been busy with he's a club promoter, so up until probably today or tomorrow he'll be busy with his club. But once he gets back in it, like tomorrow, and posts an ad, I'm sure he's going to get a whole ton of signups like he did last week. He got like 6 signups from one ad. So it all depends what city, the time of day you post, and what your image looks like, and what your application form looks like, and that's pretty much it. Because you can't change the landing page where they're going to land, after they opt in, which is here. So that's pretty much, it for the most part. Let me see if I'm missing something. Because once again, I want to keep this training short, make sure we get the full recording and still recording. So obviously, uh, thank you, Ashley, for erasing stuff last night. I've got disk space on the computer now. She's sitting next to me. So that's about it, guys. John, if you want to chime in, if you have any questions, I'm not sure if there's anybody that chimed in late. Looks like we have one person, Mr. Michael. What's going on? So if you need the recording, we'll get you that. If you didn't get all the training, Michael, can you think of anything I'm missing, John? You want to chime in? You want to add in anything? Oh yeah, my bad. What says send audio pin number 39 number or pound 39 pound to enable muting? Um, I mean, it doesn't give me. Oh, there we go. All right, you're good now, John.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. All right, yeah, excellent. And I just really wanted to ask you one question with your images because, I do a lot of text, and when I was doing images, I was seeing that Craigslist just loves to take down images, but I just wanted to see your take. Like, how are you doing with the images? Are they taking a lot down, or are you seeing if it's professional enough, it stays up as
Well,
far as the images?
what I'm finding is once you have an account and you kind of here's another thing is just put one ad. Don't try to get an account and put like three or four, and people probably know that already. But I've just noticed that the account I have, that specific account I have, I mean, I've babied it for the last year.
Yeah. It's pretty much established, right? So they
Yeah,
don't mess with it that much. Okay, I
right.
got you.
But
That's
I
what I
will
kind of figured.
but I will say the real only way they're gonna really start knocking you is if when people that I've found, when people like Aaron, they want to put 10 ads in one day because he's like scaling up. So now he's having to,
Yeah,
yeah. So now he's having to go and use like hide my ass and so IP address hide.
yeah, yeah. It's starting to block them out, right?
Right,
Yeah,
because he just went gung ho. When
yeah,
really, what you want
yep,
to do is you just want to do like one or two a day, and then if you got another computer or you go to grandma's or mom's or cousin's house or whatever, then do it over there and just kind of tiptoe around it, and you'll be fine. And that's what I've noticed because to me,
awesome.
it's a privilege to be on Craigslist, especially like this. So I don't like to like really, really take advantage of it. So because I know
Yeah,
1 to 2 ads a day is really going to give me the lead flow and the sales that I need to go out and
yeah,
flash proof and have major results and get two, three, four signups
yeah,
a day. I mean, guys,
yeah,
you start getting two, three, four signups a day in your business, you're gonna literally go from if you're there, I'm not speaking directly to you, but if you're in the 97% where you're failing, you're gonna go from the failing instantly to the win side because you're getting 30, 40, 50 leads a day, plus you're getting three, four, five, 6 sales a day. This technique alone. Now I will say this, don't go out and train everybody how to do this. This is like, elite training. You don't want to just go and show everybody the training because this is a private training, right? So you are here because you've
yeah,
invested in yourself. So I would definitely say, not just speaking to people on the webinar now, but people watching it in the future, don't just go sharing this thing because you're just going to give away, your value when the fact of the matter is that it's great to give, but I learned the hard way that when you just give away too much, people just take and take and take, and then they run with it, literally the other way, like not on your team, but the other way, right? Because they feel like I
or
can,
they do nothing with it,
or
or
they
they
feel
do nothing. Like
right,
you only want to give to serious people, serious people. Like you guys are in pro. You guys are serious. You know, anyone that's going to be watching this is going to be only pro members. So if you took that action to being pro, you're serious. But everyone that wants free, 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 they're not serious because you get it free, and then 9 out of 10 of them won't even put the work in, and then they're back at the job. You know what I mean? You have to put work in. if you don't put work in, you're not going to get nothing. And yeah, just like you said, Jermaine, we don't want to keep this too long, so we could cut out whenever. And then I'm going to have training personally on tomorrow night for my people, and that's about it. But I appreciate Jermaine. Thank you for doing this, showing us this, and
Yeah, definitely.
I want to definitely get with you with a couple other things to bring to our team as well.
Cool, cool. Yeah. Let me stop the recording, guys, and let me just
Okay.
the last closing words is, inbox myself, your sponsor, whoever sent you here for the code. If you understand already how to do the code, great. More power to you. Once again, you can get an image on Fiverr. You can test this with pretty much any website, but I suggest using something that's already proven. And that's it, guys. Grab the code, start putting out ads. Literally, this is going to help our team go from a couple hundred people where we've already grown into with ILN to 1,000, I believe, very very quickly. Or maybe you're in one of my other businesses and it's going to do the same thing. It's going to take us from wherever we're at now to an exponential growth. So get to posting, guys, and I'm gonna stop the recording.